was really hard to do because there was like 7,000 horrible middle school moments that came to my mind, like sleepovers and 7 minutes in hell and lifeguard training. Do you have any lifeguards out there? Okay, thank you. So you know, like, lifeguard training essentially means subjecting yourself to like 20 hours or so, approximately, yeah, of like probably more, of forced physical contact with random strangers. Like, the first time I finished lifeguard training, I was like, you know, like starting to just like become a woman, you know, like come into yourself. And by the time I finished, like, basically once you get done treading water and swimming 20 laps, every activity required me to like flail my like somewhat prepubescent body against like these like beautiful Baywatch men. And it was like horrible. Like, you know, like you're just like, oh, there's like a pube hair like sticking out of my swimsuit and it's like poking you in the thigh. I don't know. So I was like, oh no, I want to talk about all these horrible moments. And I was like, let's talk about like close quarter happy place. And I thought of this kid named Paul. And at the time I was a teacher assistant in a middle school classroom. And I'm a special education teacher, and at the time I was subbing, and I was in all different schools. But even then, you always have that one kid who you're like, I'm not going to make it to the end of the year. I can't teach this kid. This is embarrassing. I have to quit my job. Like, how am I going to reach you? This year it was Paul, because Paul's thing was he just had meltdowns about everything. And it was terrible, and it was exhausting. It was like, he erased too much, and my eraser is gone, and the light is on, and the light is off, and my shoes untied. Like, always, you like, run out of the room, and oh my gosh. So we're like, what are we going to do about Paul? Like, he's not learning anything, he's disruptive. And the teacher was like, yeah, I talked to his elementary school teacher, and she was like, he's awesome, he's creative, plays well with others. And we're like, are you serious? We're ruining this kid's life. So, you know, I started talking to Paul, and he just broke my heart. And what you saw with Paul was that he's dealing with these, like, middle school tentacles that kids grow. And they're just like, I'm going to judge you and eat you and, like, feed off of you. And I feel for him. And, like, especially now with, like, the way that we live, it's like, it's not like we're judging each other like fate on, it happens on Facebook, yeah, but like, it's not like it's happening at like sleepovers in the hallway. It's like, on Facebook, like, I'm gonna go on a tangent, I was walking down the boardwalk, and I see this girl, and I'm staring at her, because she was eating an ice cream cone, and I was like, oh my gosh, and it was like, really had jimmies on it, and they were chocolate jimmies, and it was my favorite. And then I noticed she's not actually eating the ice cream, she just sort of has like her tongue on it, like, and I'm like, what's happening? And she was taking a picture of herself, and I'm like, oh. And then I'm like, are people gonna like it? Are they gonna not like it? Like, you know? And like, this is how Paul felt. Like, he just wanted to run out of the room all the time, because he was like middle school, and he was so different from everybody else to begin with. And he was starting to realize it. Okay, wrap it up. So, what we did for Paul, and he brought in a Lion King sheet, and we made Paul a fort, and it was awesome. And he had this fort in the back of the classroom, and he would go into this like little spot, and you'd tell him what to do, and then he'd like wave, done. And you would go in there, and he would show you the work, and then he would get done early, because he was actually really smart. He just had like a bunch of social problems and tentacles after him, and he was able to create like all of these pictures and journal entries, and eventually he didn't go in as much. And I think what like I learned from Paul, what we can all hope to learn from someone like Paul, is that it's okay to like go into like this tiny like close quarters of your childhood where like, yeah, yeah, maybe you were like poking people with your pube hair, but also like you can find a place to like grow and become who you are.